Hi, my name is Jen. Welcome to my channel, All My Plants. I have internet. It's a wonderful thing. Today I'm going to do some updates because it's been a while. Things have happened. We're just going to jump right in. Dieffenbachia Cool Beauty. I think I said when I repotted it, which may have been last video, I'm not sure, that I tend to make them angry every time I repot them. For this one, with the fungus gnat, that's absolutely true. I mean, I also split a piece off of it, which looks about the same. Kind of like a lot of, you know, dead leaves. I don't know. But then I have other ones that I repotted, like this one here. I don't know the name of this particular variety. This one's doing great. This one's doing fine. It has a little baby in there. It's cute. Looks pretty good. I haven't had many problems with spider mites lately. It's been kind of warm and humid here recently, so seems like a lot of the spider mites have moved on. But what I have had instead is mealybugs, so that's not fun. But yeah, this one's fine, this one's mad. I'm going to kind of leave it alone and hope that it becomes fine. The Monstera albo that I chopped up, I think I made about maybe 20 cuttings of it. I'm trying to think. It was a lot of cuttings. This was the first leaf on this, and I was like, yes, finally. No. This is the second leaf, third leaf coming in there. It's looking pretty pale. It also doesn't actually have any roots. Somehow it's just surviving off of the stump, which is not rooted. I don't know if you can see down in there. It has an aerial root, but it hasn't really branched or done anything, which I think is a bit unusual, but it's alive. So, I don't know. Do I keep letting this grow? Is there any point? I mean, that's so very pasty. It's not looking great. But yeah, they pretty much all look like this now. Either, you know, they've gone completely white or they've gone all green. All of the cuttings, I think I have 2 that have tiny speckles of green, and then maybe 3 or 4 that are mostly white. The rest of them are just all green. So that didn't work out. I don't think I'll buy another one. I don't think I'll replace it. I have the Tycon, that one's lovely, and I have a whole bunch of the Monstera aurea. So this is not something I want to fool around with anymore. I would maybe trade for one, but I don't think I'd buy another one. So, yeah. My Scindapsus, variegated Scindapsus jade, I've cut it up, and that was just a couple weeks ago. It's got some pretty decent roots in there. I should probably pot these up soon. It was a bigger plant than this, but the other cuttings either had aerial roots enough that I thought that they'd take in the soil, and that's doing fine. That's in another room. But these ones here had very little aerial root or anything like that, adventitious roots. So I, stuck them in water, but they seem to be doing fine. I can see a growth point on, I think, all of them. Yeah, so here I'll show you one of the growth points if I can get it out. Probably never get it back in, which means it'll be time to pot it up, huh? Right there. The hair. But yeah, so they've rooted pretty good and pretty quick, which is wonderful. I'd say they definitely rooted faster than like Silver Hero Syngonium does for me. So yay for that. I need to get them potted. There wasn't anything wrong with the plant. I think part of it had reverted at the end of the growth, like the top cutting, which I believe I just potted with some regular jade Scindapsus. But the idea was to promote more variegation, or the continuation of variegation. So we'll see if I've made a terrible mistake by doing that. And then I got this in a trade. I want to say it's Hoya acuta, intervariegated. And it was not growing. It did not grow forever. I up-potted it finally, and now we've got a new leaf. Less variegation, but it's okay. It's okay. It's got another tiny one on the side there next to it trying to pop out. I'm pretty happy that it's finally growing. I think I just wasn't watering it enough. That and it just didn't have enough room to really root out and grow like it wanted to. It was in a teeny tiny, I think it had just barely started roots when I got it. But yay, we're growing. There was a bunch of Alocasia that I took out of semi-hydro. This is one of them. This is what I was getting previously, which is fine. This one's fairly new. I've had it less than 6 months. I think. I'm pretty sure. And it is Fairchild's Crystallinum by Zara by Michelle. I don't know which order, but it's spit this leaf out since I've repotted it, and I'm in love with it. It's lovely, even though it had a little bit of a hard time there. Probably my watering. It looks like it's also switching to cataphyll growth. Like, ooh, there we go. Finally. I say finally, it's not been that long. But it was previously, the leaf would come from the previous leaf. So, and why is this one so much longer? I'm guessing because it sits kind of over here, and that is kind of low-ish light. That's just a shop light, it's not a plant light. That's what this plant gets. Also, on every other leaf, the petiole is round. And on this one, it's square? I don't know, it's not round though. It's very interesting. I don't know how well that's showing, but cool. That's different. It kind of makes me think of Villanovarum. I think it has a triangular petiole, maybe? Can't remember. But yeah, that's different. It's kind of roundish, I guess, but it's definitely like ridged. Strange, but cool. Yeah, so this leaf isn't, oh, it's got a blue cast in this light. Oh, so pretty. I don't know if you'll be able to see any shimmer on that guy, but it is very seductive, I tell you. Very pretty. So yeah, that one's doing fine. This one didn't miss a beat. I think it did try immediately to spit out a leaf after I had repotted it in here in soil. This is just soil. It was in, was it Leca? Leca or Pawn, I really can't remember, but the first leaf did fail, but the second leaf looks pretty good. Now I just watered it, but maybe you can see we've got new root growth already in there, so I'm just trying to keep it happy and lovely. And then this is the Syngonium chia pence. You may notice it's smaller than it was previously. It looks okay. It looks okay. It's a little tatty. It did have some issues with spider mites and low humidity and just every problem that you can give a plant I threw at it this winter. It is kind of rooted into the pole. I've cut it. I've definitely cut it. Insurance purposes maybe? I don't know. But I cut it. And I think all I did was a top cut and a mid cut. Is that what it looks like? Yeah. Little mid cut there. It's got some roots growing. And then the top cut, which we did get some browning on the white on that. But I'm not overly worried about it. There's the browning. And then little roots growing. This leaf was pretty new. It's still actually very soft. It's been cut, I think, also for a few weeks. Definitely rooting slower than the Scindapsus did. But it was kind of rooted into the pole on this side, but you can see that's gone. Maybe you can see. It's just mush. Yeah, so I think I'm going to let these root out just a little bit more in water. And then I will get them potted up. On the mother plant, the part that I cut, I don't see any new growth just yet. It looks the same as when I cut it. Oh, but right there, there's a little nubbin sticking up, which is kind of hidden behind that moss. Let me tuck that in there. Right there. I don't know if you can see it, But that's the only thing I see, and it hasn't made a move or anything since I cut it. Which, like I said, it's just been a few weeks. I can't really tell what's going on behind the petiole there. I don't see anything. Just wait longer. Hopefully I haven't made it too terribly angry. I'm sure it'll reshoot eventually somewhere. Potentially. Probably. Sure. And then I bought this here. It's false Aurelia. And the reason I bring it up is because I bought it a few months ago. And I've always killed them. I find them to be very fussy about water. Very pretty. For just a cheap, inexpensive plant, what was it, $6? At the Lowe's or the Home Depot, yeah, $5.98. It's actually got a little bit of roots at the bottom even. I don't know if you can see it. Just little hair-like roots. And some actual hair. It's grown. It's actually grown, and it constantly has kind of new growth coming in there. I don't know if you can tell. It kind of all just blurs together with plants like this, doesn't it? But it's alive. I haven't unalived it, which is an accomplishment for me because I have bought this plant before. And like I said, I find it to be it doesn't want to be overwatered at all. It wants good drainage. But also, if you underwater it, like half the plant just dies. It does not recover well from being even slightly underwatered, I'll put it that way, in my experience. But I really like it. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a weird little plant, and I like it. Like I said, false Aurelia, but I can't remember the actual name. If I haven't put it on screen, I will now. I want to say Arboricola, but I don't think it is. Anyway, cute, alive still. Speaking of plants that are alive still, I bought this little fiddle leaf fig. I guess it's some kind of mini, I don't know. Also a couple months ago. And this pot, it's cute. I love this little pot. But it really wants to topple over. The feet are too close together. Like its center of gravity is poor. But anyway, the plant, fiddle leaf fig, and I want to say I don't have much of a problem growing pretty much any type of like ficus or fig. Because I previously haven't. I have killed one of these before, and honestly I fried it in a greenhouse. It just got too hot, too dry, and then it couldn't recover from that. But this one here, it's grown. I think it's grown it's working on 4 leaves total. It only had a couple leaves. It was on the half dead rack at my Lowe's, and I was like, haven't tried one of those in a while, let's do that. So, you know, so far everything's going good. It's alive and growing, and it doesn't seem to have had any pesty issues. I don't know, it looked kind of, you know, gnarly. The leaves that it did have on it kind of had some damage. Maybe you can see it. So it didn't look great. I think it had 3 leaves, and they all kind of looked like that with damage. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not mad at 4 leaves. Did I say 3? 4. I'm not mad at it. I'm trying to pay attention to it. I recently watered it, so that's, you know, a step in the right direction. I don't know. I do like the way a nice big majestic fiddle leaf fig looks. I think I've never managed to get one very big though. I mean, I know you can go and buy them pretty big, but I prefer generally to start with small-ish plants. Maybe not this small if you're looking for a huge fiddle leaf fig. Like I said, maybe this is some sort of like mini version. I don't know, it didn't have a tag. But yeah, it's cute. Wish me luck. All the green thoughts. Okay, and I know I just said I generally don't have a problem growing like ficus and figs and things like that. I just got this not that long ago, and no matter what I did, this is what we're left with. This was Ficus triangularis, the variegated one. Yeah, Ficus triangularis. It's dead. It's dead. Like, I don't know, it still feels like it might be wick, but I'm throwing this away. This is ridiculous. it just kept dropping leaves, and it seemed like it didn't matter what I did. I think the other ficus that I've had this kind of issue with was Audrey. Ficus Audrey, I believe they call it. It's like a, is it a velvety leaf? I can't remember, but it's a green fiddle leaf fig, or green. It's a green ficus that has like some veining on it, you can see it. And it's not as waxy as some other ones. So it just kept dropping leaves until we got here. I don't know what I did to make it angry. I treat it just like I do any other ficus. I treated it for pests because I thought, okay, maybe there's something on here I'm not seeing. It really didn't like that either. I think I just used the same thing I use on pretty much everything else, which is like neem, alcohol, Castile soap, and water currently. That's my current flavor of pesticide. Yeah, it didn't like that either, because I think that's, you know, when the rest of that happened. I have no idea where I went so wrong in the care of this plant, but I definitely went wrong. This is the first one of these I've tried, and I don't know if I'll try again. I think when I picked it up, I even said, I don't know, I've heard that these can be really finicky, da-da-da-da-da, and everybody assured me it would be fine. You have led me astray. I did this. Nobody else did this. And then over the winter, I picked up this Alocasia scalprum, which I believe only had this leaf right here. And it kind of looked like that when I got it. It just wasn't very picky. Happy. So happy it's grown. I really love the dark backs. Like I said, well, I don't know if that's showing up on camera like I'm seeing it, but I haven't had too many problems with the spider mites lately. But previously, for most of the winter, they were driving me insane. They were on things I never see them on. They were on months, just everything. And it was awful. It was the winter of mites, of all sorts apparently. But, yay, looks pretty good. That's the newest leaf there. Why is it sticking straight up? I guess because of the light it's getting. It's kind of living in a corner back there, so it just went, whoop, you know, to try to get more light. But happy. It seems to have rooted fine. Yeah, we've got a little bit of root coming out the bottom. Overall, it's looking pretty good. It did have some spider mites in the winter, but they seem to have gone away for now, I really hope. I didn't buy this as like the black one or whatever, but it is pretty dark. I mean, I like it. It's very dark green. I think this is one of the older leaves that's actually healthy. And the newer leaves are definitely a little bit more green, but pretty, very pretty. Happy that I didn't unalive it, because it came to me in soil. And of course I put it in pond, semi-hydro. But yeah, it seems to be liking it. Now if I can just remember to fertilize these plants, that would be great. Okay, sorry, I've turned the air conditioner on because it's roasting in here. The Hoya Matilde, which had, I believe, root mealies once upon a time, and it came to me in, I want to say pond. It's actually started growing. I don't know that this one had like flat mites. I know some of my Hoya did, and they're all being treated whether I saw anything on them or not. But yeah, it's growing. I mean, a lot. It's got new, I want to grab them so bad, but I know better. I'll just rip them off. It's growing, and so it's been treated with sulfur up top, and then in the pot I did put some systemic in this one over the winter. I generally, I think 60 to 90 days, depending which systemic I use. This one here, I believe, was a 60-day. I like to put my Hoyas out in the greenhouse in the summer, so I want the systemic to be gone before I put them out there. Not that my Hoya always flower and draw pollinators, but just in case. And not only that, but if a bug munches this, and then one of my tree frogs that's out there, they're just wild frogs that get in there, munches that bug, is that going to harm that tree frog? So that's my reasoning for not using systemic on plants that are immediately going outdoors. But I think it's been long enough. I believe it was maybe Vlogmas time when I put the systemic in here. But yeah, we've grown. So happy. We've even grown some roots in there. And of course I left air pockets. Can you see it? But yeah, there's some roots here and there. This could actually use a little bit of water. Some over here. I don't know. I'm just glad that it's finally growing. It really didn't have great roots when I took it out. A lot of the roots were just sloughing off, and it didn't look like any kind of rot. But I did see root mealies in it, so I assume that the root mealies just really damaged that root system. But yeah, it's growing new roots now. It's growing beautiful new foliage. But I say Matilda Splash, it used to be very splashy. It's not so much anymore. And maybe that's because I keep it in lower light. There's one of the older leaves kind of down in there. You can see it's a bit splashier. I'm fine with it just growing at this point. It's splashy enough. Maybe if I put it in better light, it'll get splashier, but that hasn't been my top priority with most of the Hoya I have. It's just been healthy growth. And speaking of healthy growth, the Hoya Wilbur Graves, I had planted them together. They were fine. They had already been moved to soil because of root mealies. And I don't see any reoccurrence of that. I also had put these in systemic, not the second time I repotted them, but the first time. And one of them has decided to just grow, you know, regular, not so splashy or Wilbur Gravesy. There's, I think, 3 cuttings in here. This one here is kind of hit and miss, but this one over here is doing really nice things. So, and it's growing. Once again, there's, you know, sulfur all over everything. Like I said, every Hoya I have has been just doused in it multiple times over a period of, I'm gonna say, maybe pushing 3 months now, maybe more. No, 3 months, somewhere in that neighborhood. Start of the year, I think, is when. February-ish. So, yay for growth. Hopefully we're okay. I haven't looked again with the microscope since I started treating them all, but I'll just take a random sampling and go through and, you know, look at them again and see how we're going. Check all the nooks and crannies, you know? I don't know. I'm hoping that we've nipped it in the bud. I'll probably continue to treat them until they go outside, you know? And then this is another one of the Anthurium. This is, what's it say? Clarinervium by Pterodactyl by Magnificum. The leaf it had on it is looking a little worse for the wear. It put out one leaf that just croaked, I think right before I transferred it to soil. Like right before. I'm looking for any new root growth, which I don't really see in this one. Not yet. Not yet. But we do have some movement up top here, so I'm really hoping that this does okay. I got this plant as a rehab, and it has been a struggle. It looks a little fungal. I should treat that. It's the yellow halo that kind of makes me suspicious about exactly what's going on there. I don't know. I'm gonna treat it though. But yay growth. You know, even though it's only the tiniest little bit, it's done okay. It hasn't been as fast to bounce back as the Fairchild Zara Michelle. I don't know. It's also got fungus. Everything has fungus gnats, and I've been using like mosquito bit tea, but I just started. I was slacking there for a while. I didn't have the time to do this, that, or the other, you know, so I was just like slinging water on everything. This is the very heavy and soggy, because I just watered it, crystallinum that I was attempting to rehab. It's had a little bit of problem with growth. I think it's put out 2 or 3 that just got stuck and died off, but it's got 2 others that are trying to make a move. This here is just frozen there, and then this little one here, so I have more hope for this little one here than I have for that one there. There was another one somewhere, I thought. Perhaps that one died as well. I don't know. This one here also, I suspect of having some sort of fungal or bacterial issue. This was also these yellow spots that kept kind of widening and widening and widening. And I've been treating this one. Every time I water it, I just go ahead and treat it. But you can see on this leaf behind, it's still got that kind of yellow that's spreading. Sorry, I'm balancing it with my chin. It's heavy. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep treating it and cross my fingers. Somebody did explain to me what CalMag is, and there's actually a place near me that sells it. I was looking on the interwebs, and I think I might go pick some up. It's Fox Farm brand CalMag, but I guess CalMag is CalMag. I don't know. Tell me if I'm gonna do the wrong thing before I go do it. I'll wait before I go do it. But yeah, I was assuming I'd just go get that and try that out. I don't know. I don't know. It's, you know, it's okay. It's not great. It's not really declining much more than it already was when I brought it home. I don't know. We'll see. This is the Anthurium vitarifolium that I had taken out of leca. I've had problems with this plant, well, not this exact plant before, but I think this is the second or third one I've bought. And this one here, I put it straight into leca, and it tried to put out 2 leaves pretty much immediately after I got it, and they both quit right about there. It just dried off. This one here, this is the farthest we've gotten one, and that's new since putting it in soil, so cross your everything. I would really like to have a nice vitarifolium someday. We'll see how it go. I mean, it's not bad. It's just, you know, it didn't like leca, not the way I do it. I only have, I think, 1 Anthurium left in leca. I'll show you that just because we're here. And that is this little Clarinervium. It was in soil, and I transferred it to leca. And I think it's put out, this leaf was the first leaf after I transferred it, and this was the second leaf after I transferred it. Looks great. Looks great, smells good, I stand behind it. Plenty of roots growing. I think, for me, I have another Anthurium clarinervium over there that's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about a dozen leaves on it. I hardly ever water it. I'm not gonna say it looks, you know, stunning or 100%, but it puts out leaves regularly that don't fail. So just to say, I think they do fine being a little bit drier than most other Anthurium. Vitarifolium, I thought, could be a little bit drier as well. Not that one. Doesn't like it. But yeah, Clarinervium, no problems there. It's great. It's had spider mites. I think every Anthurium in here has. I think the one that's showing it the worst is probably the Frigidii. When this new leaf was trying to grow in, they found it. So, but yeah, that's my little Frigidii. And I never put this one in semi-hydro. I wouldn't do that to this plant. It's got some new growth. I think I just up-potted it not too long ago. I'm not sure, can't remember. But it's got another new leaf trying back in there. Cute. If I can keep the spidey mites off of it, it'll be cute anyway. Okay, just one more. It's Hoya vitellinoides, Cowdang, villosa. Yeah, it's a villosa type, globulosa, villosa. It's got new growth. Do you know how long it's been since I've seen growth on this Hoya? This one had terrible flat mites, actually. I didn't see them. I checked it on a couple different occasions because I was like, you know, that damage there, that corkiness kind of looks like some sort of pest, right? And I couldn't find anything. But eventually, persistence and perseverance, eventually I spotted them. But they weren't on the leaf. They were kind of like up in the nooks and crannies, like, you know, down in there. Down there. And finally I spotted them and I was like, And it wasn't as many as I expected to see for the plant to not grow in years. But now it's got growth points all over it. It's covered in sulfur, and I will continue to cover it in sulfur, like I said, until I decide to put it outside if I do. But yeah, suddenly we have 5 new leaves, 6 new leaves. They're small. They are small, but it's been in this pot for entirely too long. All I did was water it because it wasn't doing anything. I didn't put it in good light. I didn't fertilize it. I just watered it. I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep you alive, I guess. But now it's decided to grow. So now I will pay more attention to it. I need to repot it. That's step 1. I think it's 3 cuttings. Yeah, it's 3 cuttings, and it looks like every single one of them is trying to do a grow. Look at that cute little leaf. It's ridiculous. Could it be that my Hoya are just growing because it's spring and it's time for them to do that anyway? That's entirely possible. But some of the ones that just used to grow all the time weren't. And now that I'm noticing that they are, I'm like, woohoo, victory! So I don't know. I mean, go figure. But anyway, I could keep you all day with updates on things because a lot of things are growing or are in kind of overdrive now. Like I said, the humidity's back. It's been warm. It was 84 degrees in here before I started recording, so, or 28.9 degrees Celsius. So it was pretty warm. And I think the plants are enjoying it, even though maybe I don't. That's so pretty. So yeah, I just figured we'd run through some updates on some stuff that maybe I've talked about recently, I'm pretty sure. There's other stuff that is not doing great, kind of, you know, not quite on this level, but maybe pretty close. My Philodendron Majestic, it's on its way out, and I'm not going to try again with that plant. My Philodendron Florida Ghost, or no, my Philodendron Florida Beauty, it looks terrible. It looks terrible. And it keeps growing away from the pole, which could be a lighting issue. It's just like really stretching toward light, maybe. Not sure. I did get rid of a lot of plant lights in my space. There's also significantly less plants in here than there used to be. And they're not outside yet. They're just all over my house, which is kind of the goal. You know, I want spaces to look more intentional, which is kind of absurd for me because I'm constantly moving around and rearranging spaces. It's like a weird compulsion and I just can't stop doing it. But, which means that the plants get shuffled everywhere all the time. But you know, that's just who I am in my core. That's gonna do it for me before I blather on too much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me, and come back and check me out again soon. Bye.